The history of computers is truly fascinating. It is a journey that began thousands of years ago, long before electricity or modern machines existed. Human beings have always had the need to count, calculate, and record information. In the earliest days, people would make marks on bones, stones, or clay tablets to keep track of numbers, animals, or goods. This was the first step toward what we now call computing. Later, around 5,000 years ago, the Chinese invented the abacus, which is considered the earliest known calculating device. The abacus was a simple wooden frame with beads that could be moved back and forth to perform arithmetic operations like addition and subtraction. Even though it looks very simple, it represented a huge step forward for human knowledge because it allowed people to calculate faster and more accurately than before. Interestingly, abacuses are still used in some parts of the world to teach children basic math. When we talk about the modern computer, however, its foundations were laid in the 19th century. A British mathematician and inventor, Charles Babbage, designed what he called the Analytical Engine in 1837. This machine was never completed in his lifetime, but its design was revolutionary because it included the basic ideas of modern computers: a memory, a processor, and the ability to follow instructions step by step. Because of this vision, Babbage is remembered as the father of the computer. He was far ahead of his time. Along with him, Ada Lovelace, often called the first computer programmer, wrote instructions for how the analytical engine could calculate complex mathematical problems. Together, their work planted the seed for the computers we use today. The 20th century marked the real birth of electronic computers. One of the most important figures of this time was Alan Turing, a brilliant British mathematician. Turing not only introduced theoretical models of computation, which became the foundation of computer science, but also played a heroic role in World War II. He and his team developed methods to break the German Enigma code, which was used to send secret military messages. By decoding these messages, the Allies gained a huge advantage, and many historians believe Turing's work shortened the war by several years. This shows how powerful computing could be, even in its early form. Shortly after the war, in the 1940s, the first fully electronic digital computer was created in the United States. It was called ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, and it was built by John Mauchly and J. Presper Eckert. ENIAC was gigantic. It took up an entire room, weighed about 30 tons, and used around 18,000 vacuum tubes to operate. It consumed massive amounts of electricity, and if just one tube failed, the machine could stop working. Still, ENIAC was a technological marvel for its time, capable of performing thousands of calculations per second, something that would take humans days or even weeks to complete. ENIAC and other early computers were mainly used for military calculations, weather prediction, and scientific research. If we compare early computers with the machines we use today, the difference is like night and day. The old computers were large, heavy, and extremely expensive. Only governments, the military, or large universities could afford them. They were very slow by modern standards and could only perform a limited set of tasks. For example, data had to be entered using punch cards, small cards with holes punched in them to represent information. Programs were not user-friendly, and it could take hours or even days to set up a single problem for the computer to solve. In contrast, today's computers are smaller, faster, cheaper, and more powerful. A modern smartphone can fit in your pocket, yet it has more computing power than an entire building full of machines from the 1940s. The reason for this incredible progress is the invention of new technologies, such as transistors in the 1950s, integrated circuits in the 1960s, and microprocessors in the 1970s. Each of these inventions made computers smaller, faster, and more reliable. For example, a transistor replaced the bulky vacuum tube, and millions of transistors could be placed on a single chip. This led to the development of personal computers in the 1980s, such as the IBM PC and the Apple Macintosh, which brought computing into homes and offices. From then on, the computer was no longer just a tool for scientists or governments. It became a part of everyday life. Another major transformation came with the rise of the internet in the 1990s. Suddenly, computers were not just machines for calculation or word processing, but powerful communication devices that could connect people all over the world. Information that once took days to find in libraries could now be accessed in seconds through search engines. Emails, online shopping, social media, and video streaming all became possible because of the internet. This marked the beginning of the digital age, an age in which we are still living today. If we look at how computers are used now, the list is endless. They are vital in education, helping students learn through online resources and virtual classrooms. In medicine, computers assist in diagnosing diseases, performing surgeries with robotic precision, and managing patient data. In banking and business, they handle billions of transactions every day, making global trade possible. In entertainment, computers are behind movies, video games, and music production. And in the most advanced fields, computers are used in artificial intelligence and robotics, where machines are being trained to think, learn, and even interact with humans. Another big difference between early and modern computers is accessibility. In the past, only highly trained scientists and engineers could operate computers. They required special rooms, constant maintenance, and huge budgets. Today, computers are everywhere, and even children can use them without formal training. Smartphones, tablets, and laptops have made technology part of everyday life, and most people cannot imagine living without them. In summary, the journey of computers has been extraordinary. From the Abacus of ancient China to Babbage's Analytical Engine, from wartime code breaking to the giant vacuum tube machines of the 1940s, from transistors and integrated circuits to the microprocessors and artificial intelligence of today, computers have evolved rapidly. They started as simple calculating machines, but today they can learn, adapt, and even make decisions. The future promises even more remarkable changes. Quantum computers that may solve problems too complex for today's machines, AI systems that may think almost like human beings, and technologies we cannot even imagine yet. The story of computers is, in fact, the story of human progress. It shows how far our creativity and intelligence can take us. From bones and beads to silicon chips and artificial intelligence, the history of computers is not just about machines. It is about the endless desire of humans to invent, to improve, and to push the boundaries of what is possible.